In this video, I'm going to explain the types of mental illnesses, or as people often call them, psychological disorders. But to make the topic more interesting, I've divided mental disorders into 5 layers, just like the iceberg you see in front of you, my friend. We'll start with the common disorders you may have heard of at the top of the iceberg, and then move down to the deepest and darkest disorders, some you probably never even imagined existed. These are disturbing disorders that could seriously change how you see people. This video may not be suitable for everyone, especially if you're under 18, or if you're a sensitive person. In that case, I recommend you stop watching. This video is made for educational purposes only. Layer 1. Generalized Anxiety Disorder, GAD. This is a mental condition where a person feels excessive worry about many things like work, health, or relationships. Honestly, most people experience this at some point because they believe their problems are bigger or more dangerous than they really are. It's like a student going to school without doing their homework. They feel like it's a huge disaster even if it's not that serious. Symptoms include overthinking worst-case scenarios, trouble focusing, muscle tension, or even stomach pain. 2. ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. This is a neurological condition that usually starts in childhood and sometimes continues into adulthood. It makes it really hard for people to focus and causes excessive movement or restlessness, which can badly affect daily life, like work or relationships. Symptoms include things like tapping fingers on the table, shaking legs, difficulty sitting still, or talking too much. But overall, ADHD is not considered a dangerous disorder. 3. Social Anxiety Disorder. This condition causes intense fear of social situations. People with this disorder are often afraid of being judged or watched by others. Strangely, for many of them, this fear can even be stronger than the fear of death. It causes overthinking, blushing, sweating, fast heartbeats, shortness of breath, and even shaking hands and voice. 4. Insomnia. Insomnia is a sleep disorder that causes trouble falling asleep or only being able to sleep for short periods. This can have a huge impact on a person's life, lasting days, months, or even years. People with insomnia often feel constantly tired, have trouble focusing, feel moody, and struggle in their daily lives. In rare cases, it can also cause extremely high productivity, which is often not normal. 5. Phobias. Phobia is an intense fear of specific things or situations. Usually the fear is irrational or exaggerated, but it feels very real to the person. There are thousands of types of phobias like fear of dogs, heights, small spaces, blood, needles, holes, or even oceans. People with phobias might react as if they're facing death when they encounter what they fear. Now, my friend, we'll move on to layer 2 of the iceberg. The disorders in this layer affect a person's life much more deeply than the ones in the first layer. Bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is a mental condition that causes extreme mood swings. A person can go through periods of mania, feeling overly energetic, confident, or excited, and depression, feeling very sad or empty. During the manic phase, someone might feel super active, overconfident, or even angry or overly sexual. Then suddenly they might fall into deep sadness or feel a strong emptiness. Sometimes they have dark thoughts that push them to do things. Things I won't say out loud, but I know you understand what I mean. YouTube wouldn't like that word. PTSD, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. PTSD usually happens after someone goes through something very scary or traumatic, like war, natural disasters, serious accidents, or physical assault. People with PTSD relive the traumatic event over and over as if it's happening again. This can cause isolation, quick anger, sleep problems, trouble focusing, and constant fear. You might think it's not a big deal, but trust me, it is. It's like reliving the worst moment of your life again and again, and every time it feels like the first time all over again. Borderline Personality Disorder, BPD. This disorder causes strong mood swings and problems with judgment, which deeply affects relationships. Someone with BPD might feel deep love for someone and then suddenly deep hate, even over small things. For example, a girl with BPD might become very attached to her partner, but if he makes one tiny mistake, she might get extremely angry and go from loving him to hating him. Even if he's just busy for a little while, she might desperately try to reach him, and if she can't, she might hurt herself or even try to hurt him. This disorder can lead to dangerous and tragic outcomes, my friend. Now we move on to layer 3 of the iceberg. This layer includes strange disorders, but they're not as dangerous as the ones coming up in the next layer. Narcissistic Personality Disorder. This disorder makes a person feel extremely important, more than they really are. They constantly crave attention and praise and usually have no empathy for others. Narcissists often act arrogant, reject criticism, and believe they deserve special treatment. One of the best examples of narcissism, in my opinion, is the character Homelander from the show The Boys. Dissociative Identity Disorder, DID. This rare disorder causes a person to have multiple personalities inside them. Each personality has its own thoughts, behaviors, and even memories. What's really strange is that each personality can have a different age, gender, or even language. The person often forgets what happened while another identity was in control, like they lost their memory during that time. When they switch to a different identity, their voice, beliefs, body language, and way of thinking can completely change. Even more surprising, some people know they have other personalities while others have no idea they do. Body dysmorphia, body dysmorphic disorder. This disorder makes a person obsess over flaws in their appearance, whether the flaw is real or imaginary. They strongly believe something about their body looks ugly or deformed, even if it's not true. They may focus on one specific body part, like their skin, teeth, or hair, and see it as completely wrong. This obsession can lead to social isolation, and if it gets worse, it might lead to depression or anxiety. Alien hand syndrome. This is another rare and very strange disorder. It makes a person feel like one of their hands doesn't belong to them, as if it's acting on its own. The hand can move without their control, grabbing things, opening or closing doors, or even attacking their own body. It's like the hand has a mind of its own. If you ever see someone trying to put on a jacket with one hand while the other hand is trying to take it off, that could be a sign of this syndrome. Now, my friend, we move on to layer 4 of the iceberg. And let me tell you, things are about to get much worse. Cotard's syndrome. Cotard's syndrome is a very rare and very disturbing disorder, also known as walking corpse syndrome. A person with this disorder truly believes that they are already dead or that some of their organs don't exist or don't work. Some even believe that their entire body is gone and that they're just an empty shell. In some extreme cases, they believe their body is rotting and full of insects or parasites. This disorder causes a complete loss of connection with reality and often leads to severe depression and other mental illnesses like schizophrenia or psychosis. The biggest danger is that people with Cotard syndrome may refuse to eat or drink because they believe they are dead, which can actually lead to death. Truman syndrome. This rare disorder makes someone believe they are living inside a reality TV show and that everyone around them, including family and friends, are just actors. The syndrome is named after the movie The Truman Show, where the main character doesn't know his entire life is being filmed and broadcasted. In one real case, a man in his 30s believed his life was a TV show, and he tried to run away from home several times to prove his family was hiding the truth from him. Folie à deux, shared psychosis. This mental disorder is like a contagious psychosis under certain conditions. It usually starts with one person who has delusions or psychosis, and because they have a strong emotional influence on another person or people, they spread their delusion to them. For example, in one case, a woman believed that her neighbors were spying on her with hidden cameras. At first, her husband didn't believe her, but after a while and due to the emotional pressure, he also started to believe the same thing, that their neighbors were spying on them. Now, my friend, we're moving on to the 5th and final layer of the iceberg. This layer contains the rarest and most dangerous disorders, and honestly, what we don't know about them is far more than what we do. Fregoli syndrome. A person with this disorder believes that many different people are actually the same person in disguise, constantly changing their appearance and name. They usually think this person is following them with bad intentions. For example, one man believed his boss at work was actually an old friend of his, who kept changing appearance to ruin his life. Capgras syndrome, also called imposter syndrome. This disorder makes a person believe that someone close to them, like a family member or friend, has been replaced by an identical-looking imposter. They truly believe the person looks the same but is not the real one. Imagine the fear, living with someone you love but believing they are a fake copy of the real person. Obviously, this belief is completely false, but terrifying for the person experiencing it. Possession syndrome. In this condition, the person feels like they are being controlled by an external force or being. This may cause them to act in strange or violent ways, even have seizures or abnormal movements. In some rare cases, they may even start speaking a language they've never learned before. Kluver-Bucy syndrome. This disorder makes someone lose their sense of fear, even in truly dangerous situations. They also show no emotional reaction to serious events. Other symptoms include overeating, sometimes even eating non-food items, memory loss, and increased sexual behavior. Autophagia, self-cannibalism disorder. This is an extreme and rare disorder where the person feels compelled to bite or eat parts of their own body. It might start with biting nails or fingers, but in severe cases, they may start eating their muscles or tissues. Even though they know it's harmful, they feel unable to stop. Mass hysteria, mass psychogenic illness. This is the most dangerous and final disorder in the video. It's not a clinical diagnosis, but more like a mass mental event. It happens when strong emotions like fear, anger, or panic spread through a large group of people, triggering chaos and even violence or death. Examples include witch trials in the 17th century, where many innocent women were killed simply because someone said they were witches. Riots during wars or civil unrest. Even peaceful, educated people can become violent when caught in such a mass wave. It's like death itself takes over people's minds, and reason disappears. If you want to be a charismatic person and win people's respect, watch this video.